When did a false accusation cost you everything? It started with a missing prescription pad. 1 week into my hospital internship, I saw it on Dr. Collins's desk. 2 days later, it was gone, and the admin office was calling me down just to ask a few questions. I'd never even touched the thing, but I was the only intern on his rotation, and my badge had pinged near his office the morning it vanished because I'd left my thermos there. I told them that I came back for my coffee, that I saw the pad but didn't touch it. They smiled politely and nodded like I was digging a deeper hole just by speaking. The next day, a script showed up at a pharmacy across town, Oxy, written in Dr. Collins' name. It had my signature. It didn't look like my writing, but it was close enough to justify a suspension while the board investigated. I wasn't allowed back in the hospital. My email was deactivated. My lab coat was folded into a paper bag and dropped off at the front desk for pickup. No one called. Not even the residents I'd had lunch with all week. I knew who did it. I just couldn't prove it yet. Maya, another intern, had been furious when she didn't get Dr. Collins' rotation. Said she needed it for her CV. She'd cried in the stairwell when the list went up. I tried to comfort her. She barely looked at me. Later that same week, I saw her near his office. She said she was just dropping off forms. That might have been true. But I also remembered her asking me where he kept his pad during orientation. I didn't think twice at the time. Now it was all I could think about. I tried to fight it, filed appeals, submitted badge logs, explained everything. But once you're labeled the intern who forged a narcotics script, no one hears the second half of your sentence. My advisor stopped returning calls. My scholarship was frozen. My name was quietly taken off the fall research grant list. 3 weeks later, I got a letter saying my enrollment was on hold pending a formal conduct review, which meant no classes, which meant no graduation date, which meant no residency. That night, I stared at my ceiling until morning and realized I could either disappear or fight like hell. So I started digging. I knew Maya had an older sister who worked at a rehab clinic in Queens. I also knew that a pharmacy near that clinic had reported a suspicious script 3 months ago. Same doctor's name, same drug. I tracked down the tech who flagged it, took a bus across the city and waited until her shift ended. When I told her what happened, she went pale and said, "Wait, you too?" She didn't know the patient's name, but she remembered the woman who picked it up. Tattoos on her fingers, a green beanie, and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Maya had a green beanie. I asked if she'd give a statement. She said she couldn't legally, but she told me to check the timestamp on the original transaction and look at the camera outside the loading dock. "They never check that one," she whispered. I pulled every string I had to request a review, filed another appeal, hand-delivered it this time. 2 weeks later, they called me in. It was Maya who opened the door. She was with the board chair. I was too stunned to speak. They had the footage. Her entering the building with her sister, the timestamp matching the prescription entry, her signature, just barely different from mine. She didn't speak during the whole meeting, just stared at the table. When I left the room, I wasn't proud. I wasn't even angry. I was just tired. She lost her internship and her future. But I lost more. My spot in the hospital was gone. My old advisor wouldn't meet with me. My friends had already picked sides.